the wee years of my preteen years, my family wanted me out of the house during the day. So, they enrolled me in a little thing called Dungeons&Dragons camp, held at the Royal Ontario Museum. The ROM. I was instantly fascinated and never wanted to return home. Sorry, Dad. But not sorry when I chose to be Paschino, the gnome plagued with the spell of having to rhyme whenever speaking. That got old fast, but I never, ever lost interest in the world that I had entered from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. that summer. I also never picked up the dice again, which is sad. But that magic returned when Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves began. With a fitting 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, Dungeons & Dragons speaks out to the fans, putting just as much attention into their projects as Marvel does theirs, and entertains those who know nothing of the source material and just want to have a good time. It starts off funny and remains so throughout the runtime, making it the most charming adventure epic of the year so far. With a packed cast and spell casts, it mixes both fantastical CGI and practical effects with the creatures, badass weaponry, and even costumes that match that of even the most die-hard and wealthy cosplayer. That may be due to the $151 million budget, or just John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein's vision in directing. It has 3 dragons, 6 dungeons, and 1 portal gun. What? It went a little something like this. Edgin Darvis, Chris Pine, spent years working as a member of the Harpers, essentially a hidden society of heroes, helping humanity and asking for nothing in return. This was his life until his wife was killed by a red wizard for stealing their gold. This turned him to a life of thievery, to then meeting and making a crew consisting of the barbarian Holga, Michelle Rodriguez, an amateur sorcerer Simon, Justice Smith, and a rogue named Forge, Hugh Grant. The latter betrays them and has them imprisoned. 2 years later, Edgin and Holga escape and confront Forge to find he has become the guardian of Edgin's daughter and Lord of the land of Neverwinter via nefarious ways and striking a deal with the bad and bald red wizard Sophina, Daisy Head. Suiting. Forge attempts to have our leads executed, but yet again, they escape and form a team to overthrow Forge, reclaim his daughter, amongst other treasures, and vanquish the evil forming to claim the land. A lot of campiness-filled campaigns, hope for laughs, and maybe even a cinematic universe to come. No, it's not at the level of MCU quipping yet, but I'm sure it'll get there.
I have an army. We have
Owlbear! Since there is a critic in me that won't shut up, I did pick up on some notes. A lot, if not all, the humor lands, but some jokes would repeat themselves until they became a bit stale. Also, it is the most Chris Pine movie you will ever experience. It's actually Michelle Rodriguez who delivers the best LOLs this time. The plot was slightly predictable, only slightly, but I also watch a lot of movies, so contradicting that, it was also nice to watch something that was still so new, unique, and refreshingly fun. There was plenty of loot and loots, yet I still couldn't ignore the editing becoming more and more rushed as the story progressed. But still I say, still something so nerdy has been made into something so badass. If it weren't already. I'm casting it with an 8.5 out of 10 and advise you to roll into theaters and see it in IMAX.